Hey goddesses. I know I'm in a new location again. I'm actually in my art studio, so what you see in the back is my artwork. And today's video is actually a topic that I've wanted to talk about for a few years now, but I just never got to it or had the right timing until now to talk about it. But today's video is entitled How I Got My Own Luxury Condo in the Most Expensive City in the United States. So this is a tale of manifestation, and I'm going to share with you the method that I used to actually get this apartment literally against all odds. So I'm going to begin with the technique. Actually, no. Let's reverse that. I'm going to begin with a lot of the so-called obstacles that people see when they are starting and trying to manifest something that they perceive to be out of reach, out of bounds, out of their league. For example, when you're living in a city where housing costs are literally astronomical, like you would have to make over 150K to live comfortably where I'm from. And at the time of me wanting this apartment, I definitely was not even making half of that. So you might ask, how in the world did I end up manifesting it? And I will tell you exactly how I did it and the length of time that it took, because it might be shocking to you how quickly this actually came about. Okay, so first let's talk about my obstacles. Yeah, even your own family members will be quick to say that you can't do it because they, in their mind, cannot perceive how you would do it based on the facts. If you know me, you know that I don't pay attention to facts unless they will benefit my situation. And you might think that's stupid and crazy and makes no sense, but just bear with me here. So, one thing about manifestation is people always get tripped up on the how. That is not your job. Your job is not to figure out how to do it, because you don't know this, but you actually have a built-in mechanism in your brain that will figure out how for you. And in the stages of you figuring it out how to manifest your desire, you don't have enough information to even know how to do it. That comes in time. Imagine this. You're driving on a road at night. You have your what are they called? Your car lights on, your headlights. Do you drive down that dark road wondering where the next bend of the road is, or where you're gonna have to go 10 feet past your visibility range? No, you just keep driving because you know your headlights are going to lead the way for you. That is the same concept that you want to have when manifesting. A lot of people get caught up in how. Like they're trying to predict where the road is going to bend and turn when you have this system like headlights that's going to show you at the appropriate time when to turn. So going back to my story of this apartment, I knew this technique. So it was now time to apply this technique to something major that it will really prove whether or not this theory is true. Because if it's true for all things, it will be true for that thing, right? And so what I did was I first decided what I wanted, not what I could afford. I decided that I wanted a luxury condo that had a washer and dryer, that had a gym, that was nice, that had like marble counters and backsplash and all new stainless steel appliances and a view, and I wanted a one bedroom. I was not going to settle for a studio because I feel like I would feel very cramped in a studio, and that's what the norm was for most young people in the city, is they'll rent a studio. And I've seen so many studios and I don't like them. And so I made that decision early on, like, no, I want a one bedroom, condo. And then miraculously, a condo appeared on a housing website. And how I knew that this was for me is, if you know me in person, you know my favorite number is 33 or 333. Any variation of 3 is my favorite number because that is my birthday. So I've always had a strong connection to this number. Now, the first 2 digits of the address of this luxury condo I was looking at was 33. So I kind of had a synchronicity moment where I was like, oh my goodness. Like, you just get that feeling where you just know. Okay. Then I wanted to put into practice the visualization technique. Now, this technique has been studied before. So it's not like something I just pulled out of thin air. Like, this is actually a scientific study. And if you go to my video, the top 5 books for feminine manifesting, there is in Psycho-Cybernetics, which is, I think, is one of my favorite books, honestly, because it's so useful and it's so, like, the things that are mentioned in this book you would think would be common sense, but if they were, everybody would be doing this, and trust me, they're not. So this study was in Research Quarterly, which I guess is a research magazine or journal. And what they did in this experiment was they had people use basketball. So they wanted people to practice their free throw shots. But they split these subjects into 3 groups. So the first group actually practiced 20 minutes a day physically shooting the ball into the hoop, practicing their free throw shots. The second group, they told them do not practice at all. And then the third group, they told to only practice for 20 minutes a day mentally in their mind, basically using visualization to see themselves shooting the ball and getting it into the hoop. Now, the results are actually very astounding in this study. So the first group that physically practiced every day for 20 minutes, their shots improved 24%. The group that did not practice either physically or mentally, they showed no improvement whatsoever. And then the third group that only practiced mentally improved 23%, which is only 1% less than the group that physically practiced every day. So that goes to show you that even if you just sit and visualize yourself, in that apartment that you want, making that perfect free throw shot at the court, with your ideal body, if you just spend 20 minutes a day visualizing it, you have a 24% chance of increasing your odds of actually getting that. And so I use this technique to get my luxury condo. What I did was, to help me in visualizing, I first went to the open house. So that was the first thing. I wanted to physically be in the actual building where I wanted to rent from. And so I went to the open house. They gave me a brochure. I hung this brochure up in my room and I looked at it every day. I visualized myself in the courtyard, in the lobby, in the elevator, and I did this for a while. And then I went to another open house. Not because I didn't know what the units looked like. I had already went to the first open house, so I already knew what the units looked like, but that wasn't the point. The point was to get myself again in a visual state where I'm in the lobby, I'm on the elevator, I go into the vacant unit, I see how it looks, so I can get the sense that I'm in there physically. So I did this for 6 months. And I'm telling you guys, what happened after is honestly really quite shocking. So this apartment was brand new, and so there was a waiting list for applicants. And 6 months after doing this visualization technique, I got a call from the leasing office, and they told me to come down. They told me that out of a waiting list of 7,500 applicants, I was number 3 on the list, meaning I had almost first choice in which unit I wanted to rent. Number 3, again, that's my lucky number. So these synchronicities, they do have significance, especially when they make you feel positive. That's the whole idea behind visualization, because your brain cannot tell the difference between a perceived situation and an actual situation. Like, take for example, you're walking in the woods, you're hiking or something, and you see something out of the corner of your eye, like an animal. Your brain perceives that animal to be a black bear, but it's not a black bear, it's just like a dog. But because in that split second you perceive that to be a bear, you run for the hills. And so your perceived idea of the situation trumps whatever the actual situation is. And again, all of the things I'm talking about are mentioned in this book, Psycho-Cybernetics. So just remember that your perception, your self-image, your ability to manifest, it all starts in your brain, not in figuring out how it's going to happen. Because think about it. Did I know 6 months prior to me getting approved for this apartment how that was going to happen? Absolutely not. But I didn't think about that. I just kept going to that apartment, realizing I really want this. It feels good to me. Using the visualization technique, seeing myself in there, cooking meals, having fun, putting furniture in there. That's all I did. It's not like I called the leasing agency, begged them to rent this to me, and why. I didn't do research online like, what credit score should. I didn't do any of that at all. I just lived my life knowing in the back of my mind, somehow, some way, I will get this apartment. And so my advice to you is anything that you really want, the first thing you should do is train yourself to stop thinking how you're going to get it. Your brain already has a built-in mechanism of figuring that out. Your brain has headlights to show you the way when the way presents itself to you. You're never going to force this to happen. So that's the first step. The second step is visualize. Wherever it is in your heart's desire that you truly want, visualize yourself there. And the more specific you can get with that, the better. So for example, if one of your desires is to close a sale at your real estate firm, instead of visualizing like, how am I going to get this client? When is it going to happen? Instead, visualize yourself shaking hands with a colleague and them saying congratulations to you, and then you saying thank you. That is a stronger visual image than something very arbitrary like, is it going to be this house in this neighborhood? Is it going to be this client? Because that part you are never going to know until it happens. But something that you can kind of predict and is believable to you is that someone's saying congratulations. And so the more specific you can get in your visualization technique, the better and more believable it will be to your subconscious. And that is how you will manifest the things that you want. So that's my little story for you. I hope it helps you in your journey of manifestation. Please comment down below if you've heard of this technique before, if you've used it, and go ahead and list the most outrageous things that you desire in the comment below and tell me how it makes you feel. And please click like and subscribe and click the little bell notification so my videos will pop up in your feed so you can learn more about how to manifest your greatest desires. And I wish you the best of luck and keep an eye out for those synchronicities and stay fabulous.